Audio Jungle.
This is what happens when a city of 1 million people runs out of water. To each his own. Most taps are dry and people are thirsty. There's little to drink, to bathe with, to cook or to clean. Some schools have had to shut down and hospitals are running out of their reserves. Water has become so precious, it's now being rationed. But there isn't enough for everyone.
We are tired of this. We wait here morning, evening and night, but not a drop in sight. We are fed up with this situation.
The problem started 2 weeks ago when the only pipe connecting Dakar to its main water source broke. The supplier, a private French contractor, is working around the clock to repair it. But it's taking longer than expected.
Good morning. We're Group 1 from IDS 3003. And in this week's special report, we'll be talking about the Senegalese water issues and solutions. I'm Iman Mohammed Ali.
I'm Nastasia Pasniku, and our first reporter will be Nicholas Mosley, reporting on STEM connections.
Thanks, Nastasia and Imam. So my name is Nicholas Mosley, and I'm going to be talking about the STEM connection. So just a quick history on Senegal. Senegal is the westernmost country in Africa, and specifically within the sub-Saharan African desert. So one would think that their water issues is that they don't actually have water, but that is a misconception. So let me tell you about the two things that we're going to talk about today with STEM connection. So the first issue is that they do have a wet season and a dry season, and in the wet season there is constant flooding. And with the constant flooding, specifically within Dakar, which is in the main capital, the flooding not only is on the streets, but it goes into people's houses. And this water can become stagnant and attract mosquitoes, which can bring malaria and other really nasty diseases to the country. So one of the things that the government in Senegal has done is they have created within the streets these kind of drainage systems. And these drainage systems lead into a giant basin, if you will, to collect all that water. And once all that water is actually collected, that water is used to actually garden certain areas of the countryside so that they can produce more kinds of vegetables for the economy of Senegal. The second issue with water is during the dry season. And during the dry season, like most people would think, there is a lack of water. So one of the cool things that the AFDB group has started to do is they have built these giant water towers. And these water towers are not only for one specific area. They can water over 32 different villages. And whether that is 32 villages go to the actual watering source, or the watering source has a tube that goes to each individual village, this creates a much better environment for the people that go to collect water, because they don't have to travel as far, nor do they have to hope and pray that they're going to get clean water. So these are the cool engineering ways that the AFDB has done to, one, get rid of the flood waters that happen in the city, and also to bring clean water into the rural areas. I'm Nicholas Mosley, and now let's go to Mary for social context.
Thank you, Nicholas. And in other news regarding social context of the country Senegal, unfortunately, more than 46% of all people are living in poverty. This means that they are living in an unsustainable way that is not comfortable. The country is trying to fight poverty in every way they can. However, progress is very slow, and it seems to be getting worse. In other news, inequality is also becoming a very moderate social issue for the country, particularly in the school system in southern areas of the country. More than 2/3 of people in southern areas of Senegal are poor, and they are not attending school, and those who are not being educated equally to that of the standards. The last thing is that child begging is becoming more of a problem, and it is seen more of a problem in southern areas outside of schools where there is not a lot of teachers or supervision. Senegal is making their best attempts to try to stop some of these social issues. However, the movement is very slow because there is very little that can be done without sufficient funds for the country. Thank you so much, and now with Iman. She will be talking about evidence of claim.
Thank you, Mary. Examples of the water issue in Senegal can be found all over the nation in both rural and urban areas. Senegal's economy is made up of 6 major components: agriculture, water resources, energy, forestry, fishery, and waste management, and they all work together to create and promote the environment. In 2015, the United Nations Environmental Program released a report with ways to combat the water issues in Senegal. In the report, they highlighted how inadequate water access can cause major developmental challenges. The UNEP reports that the problem to access of clean water and sanitation is greatest in rural areas where the majority of poor people live. In Senegal, there's a 57% poverty rate in rural areas compared to a 26% poverty rate in urban areas such as the nation's capital, Dakar. However, that does not mean that they're not exposed to the water crisis. In 2013, the people of Dakar suffered for 2 weeks without water because of a broken pipeline that was not properly maintained. The pipeline could not carry water into Dakar from the water plant that is located 155 miles away. And this water plant supplied the water to 40% of the 3 million people that lived in Dakar. Agriculture and energy take a large portion of the nation's clean water. The overexploitation and the weak resource management cause a variety of environmental problems. The irrigation has damaged the water greatly. The development of dams, along with the constant irrigations, have altered the hydrochemical levels of the water sources, leading to a growing alkalization of the water and soil, and lakes and water bodies have also been largely polluted by pesticides. The groundwater in Senegal is also at risk. The aquifers are constantly undercharged due to the lack of rainwater, which lead to an increased salinization of the water. In some places, the groundwater contains excessive minerals that make it unsuitable for both people and for human consumption and for agriculture. It is imperative for Senegal to gain control of the water issues to maintain both their economy and the basic livelihood of the people. I'm going to go ahead and pass it on to Cassandra now so that she can talk to you about the historic context of the water issues in Senegal.
Thank you, Anna. My name is Cassandra Deers. Senegal is the westernmost point of Africa. The average rainfall has huge variations from year to year. On one end, there's the Atlantic Ocean, and on the other end, there's the arid zone, which is south of the Sahara Desert. Now, guys, the issue is that there is a scarcity of water at the center and most northern parts of the country. Causes of this would be the lack of significant water sources and the various sources of contamination. Now, water pollution and scarcity is a big issue. It can cause sickness or even death. They are working on fixing the water issues through various groups and programs. Now on to Nastasia. She will be discussing the connections to current events. Thank you. Back to you, Nastasia.
Thank you, Cassandra. I'll be talking about current events. So, on July 9, 2015, the World Bank Group approves a $70 million credit, improving water supplies and sanitation services in urban and peripheral areas in Senegal. By 2020, an estimated 500 million people will benefit from this, and from that number, 50% are women. The credit supports the urban water and sanitation project and has 3 components. The first one would be water supplies, which aims to improve the water sources, developing underground resources, rehabilitating water infrastructure in Agag. The second one would be sanitation, which aims to improve sanitation outside of Dakar, supporting educational activities. And the third one would be institutional strengthening and project management. The government of Senegal has made significant improvements in providing access for water and sanitation services. In Senegal, like other developing countries, The responsibility to fetch water relies on women and girls. This project would also help reduce the burden of carrying water and would also reduce gender inequalities. The women will have an important role in hygiene, education, and information programs. The project is also contributing to two important goals of the World Bank, which are eradicate poverty and share prosperity more equally for the benefit of the poor. Thank you for watching IDS 3003 News. I hope you all had a happy Thanksgiving and stay tuned for more information next week.